Hi, I'm Erica Kleibrink, and today with Gardening Like a Pro, we are going to be talking about garden's worst pests, the dreaded slug. So slugs, just for those of you who aren't quite familiar with them, they are the long insects without any shells on them. The ones with shells are snails, and they are going to be slimy just like a snail is. And they will look smaller than this, obviously, otherwise you're going to be in deep trouble, but this is what they will look like. Now, slugs are known as for eating a wide variety of things. They can eat your hostas, that is one of their favorite meals, a lot of annuals like marigolds, and they also eat daylilies and a wide variety of your leafy vegetables like lettuce, kale, tomatoes, peppers, broccoli, pretty much the full gambit. Tomatoes, whatever we like to eat, they like to eat too, unfortunately, include strawberries. They also will tend to gravitate towards dark, moist conditions, and they start feeding at 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Unfortunately, what that means for us here in the Willamette Valley in Oregon, it means that we are going to be facing a lot of slugs because it is pretty wet and moist here. The soil stays wet year-round. It's also exacerbated by irrigation systems. What you can do as a gardener just to cut down on the habitat for them is try to keep leaves away from touching the ground itself. Also, you can help to keep down by when you are irrigating your lawn, try to keep it towards the mornings and the middle of the day when the slugs are going to be less active. So how do you know whether or not you've actually got slugs in your yard? What you can do is look for the actual slugs themselves. You can look for their damage, and you can look for their slimy trails. So the trails are going to be easily visible on the leaves themselves or on sidewalks. They'll be basically a light glistening in a thin line, about 1/4 inch typically to 1/2 inch wide. That would be about the width you'd be looking for to see if they are in fact present. If you are looking for them, they're often underneath leaves. They are going to be at the base of your plants, basically wherever they can get some shade. Or if you have a wooden board on the ground, if you lift that up, they're often underneath something that will keep it protected from the heat and the sun. What you can do too is look for the damage. So for a damage, what you're going to see is holes in the center of the leaves. It'll be irregularly shaped, so they aren't going to be perfect pinholes. They can be, this is probably one of the lesser damages that you might see for a hosta. It can make it look very feathery. It'll start, they can extend all the way out to the edges, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that. If you do see just a whole bunch of bite marks and indentations from the edge in, but no holes on the interior, you're more likely seeing damage from a caterpillar as opposed to slugs. If you see half of the leaf is gone or the entire leaf going down to the stem, that's probably something larger. I would say it's more likely you've got some deer eating it or rabbits, but which we can talk about later as to how to deal with it. Now there's going to be several ways of combating the slugs. There's going to be, you can create traps for them, and you can plant basically sacrificial plants for it, like marigolds around your border edges. They'll go to the marigolds, eat the marigolds. The marigolds won't look good, but your plants will still look fine. There is going to be the trap method, which you can use like a beer trap, which I will go into further detail on another video of how to make a beer trap. There's the it's kind of electrocution. You basically put copper wires, it shocks the slugs with electromagnetism once they hit them. So you can line your plants and your beds with copper, which can get expensive, but that's one method. Diatomaceous earth is another method. It is ground up shells and bones that can cut the bounds of the slugs, but that requires reapplication after any rainstorms. A lot of people choose to use Sluggo. That is an actual product used in the pelletized form. You sprinkle it on, and it basically acts as a slug bait. The slugs eat it, and it kills the slugs that way. And there is soapy water method too. These are just a few methods for how to deal with your slug problems, and I will go into further detail in another video as to how to make beer traps.